just do what you can. When you start your business or when you are thinking about going into business, do what you can immediately. And I think I've spoken about this in a past video of mine, but I can't recall which one. But it is better to do anything than to sit there and think about what is best. And I've said this in the past, but start with the simplest thing to do. And when it comes to being in business, or if you're about to make a business and you don't know that the business is going to be successful, before you ever leave your job, you can absolutely send off a whole bunch of cold emails and see if you can get any type of response or feedback out of the gate on what you are doing. And these are things that I did not know before going into business for myself and before, making this lifestyle change, this life choice, this big risk to go out and do things for myself. But if I ever wanted to enter into another venture and I didn't want to steal time away from what I do in my daytime, where my income comes from my largest stream of income, from my highest growth potential, I would merely at night start researching companies who might be in my target market. And then from there, I would find emails of folks, or I would look online and I would piece things together and I would start sending emails, maybe 10 a night, 20 a night, what have you. And I would start getting feedback nearly immediately. I would try and schedule meetings for my lunches if I could. And I would take those calls and I would just do the simple things that I can do to move things forward. Now, when I did not have my own company and the ability to spread my time around as I want to without having somebody look over my shoulder or be yelled at, I always thought and looked at, you go to work for somebody else for 8 to 10 hours a day, not including drive and commute times. And then you get home, and my first reaction was I always went to the gym, and then that was after work, after I would work 7 to 7. And then I would be at the gym until about 9 o'clock, and then I would get home and I'd go, man, I'm tired. I got to go to bed. And that was good. But if I really was working my young bones, I would have stayed awake from the 9 o'clock till, you know, 11 p.m., midnight pop potentially. And I would have done these things, but I didn't even know to do these things. I didn't know. Nobody told me. All I ever heard from people was that you just go to work for somebody else. Don't forget to go home and work on your own dreams. And I would have loved to, but I could never think about the ways to do it. My mind was always so tired. So this is a way that you can do that. You can research the companies that would be in your target market. You can send emails because they will still exist. It does not have to be phone calls, guys. That is how you work after hours on your own dream. You can send off emails. It doesn't have to be a dropshipping company. It doesn't have to be a Shopify store. It can still be a service-based business or a new product-based business that you're thinking about coming up with. And you can send off a cold email and you can send 10 to 20 a night. And then you can go to bed and you can wake up the next day and hopefully you'll have some responses in your inbox. And if you have responses, you can use those as feedback for what would need to be changed in your services, or if you'd be necessary. And then if somebody wants to schedule a meeting with you, you could schedule it for your lunch hour. You could go out to your car, you could take a call, you could go somewhere else, you could take a call, and you could have those meetings while still holding your other job. And then if somebody says, yes, we want this service or we want what you're offering to us, if it's something that can be done by like AI or some form of service that's digital, even better. Now you have two streams of income. You have your main job that you're currently working, and then you have your backup business or your side hustle at that moment. But the goal would be to turn that side hustle into your main income. And had I thought about it even a little bit, I would have started earlier on. I probably wouldn't have gone into this business because it would have been a conflict of interest at the time, but I would have with the other businesses that I thought about starting that just never got into. Like I wanted to be in the financial services sector, and I would still love to get into that. It's always been a passion of mine, but I couldn't jump through the regulatory hurdles. And also you have to call people directly unless you're going to reach out to businesses solely for the very beginning of what you do. And I didn't even know how to do that. I didn't know how to begin to do that. I've never been in that conversation. And with that, the few businesses that I would have ever thought of, even if I wanted to start like a lawn care or a lawn landscaping company, I could have set the emails at night and it would have still made sense because if you're your own operation and you're just a single man show, you could be technically out there doing this from 8 until 5, and then you come home and, you have a family to take care of. They don't know who you are. They don't know your age. They don't know anything about you. So if you send them an email at 9, 10 p.m. and say, "We wanna come over and, work with you," or what have you, or, "We wanna schedule a meeting to speak with you about this," it can still be doable, and it could be easily doable, and you just have to do it after hours, but you have to be willing to put in the work, and you should take those actions. Take those small actions, take those actions that seem like they're not going to do anything huge. Sending off 20 emails is nothing like sending off 20,000. Sure, that's correct, but you have to start with 20 to get to 20,000, and that is what you are building to. And then over time, your side hustle will become your main hustle, and then you can sit at home and work on what you do every single day like I do, or like so many people in this country do, this beautiful country that we live in, and you can build your American dream the way that you were supposed to do it. You can purchase a new home. You can start to go out and do these things that are possible, that you know are possible. You just don't know how to get to them because it's not this big, grand thing. You build it over time by small actions, one action at a time. You lay one brick, you put down one puzzle piece, and then all of a sudden, in years, it looks completed. And it never is. That's the brilliant part about it is you can build it for as long as you want to until you say it is done. But take that first small step, guys. Make that action. Take that action and put it into play. Get after it.